Hi guys! Welcome to my Dajanadancer Creations Limited Dance Series. In this episode I have another special guest, my friend Nicole.
Hello everybody.
You have 5 seconds to tell us who you are.
Hi, my name is Nicole and I'm also a full-time professional dancer, and yeah, we both live in Amsterdam. My 5 seconds is up.
So today we're going to talk about why dancers shouldn't be dancing for the exposure only.
Yes, that's what we're going to talk about.
Okay, Nicole, so you have a lot of experience as a dancer, dancing at different festivals, clubs, you name it.
Yeah, that's true.
So tell us why we shouldn't dance for exposure.
Oh my god, there's so much to be told about this, and of course there's so much coming to my head right now, but the main thing, in my opinion, is that like the first thought that I have is that it ruins the industry. And I understand both sides. Like I can see why, especially young and unexperienced dancers would like to dance for exposure because they feel like, oh yeah, this is going to like get me into the scene and create a network and
gain some experience.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not untrue, but at the same time, when there are always new dancers and there are always young dancers that want to create, like, get experience, like you said, and by dancing for exposure, which by the way, maybe we talk about it later, is not really doing anything to you, you are ruining the industry for people who actually live off dancing, because then they won't get jobs because there's always a group of dancers that will do it for free. That's the exposure.
Or for like very minimum amount of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is basically exposure. So.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, the second thing is that exposure that they always offer you, a lot of times actually is not even an exposure, because especially when artists want you in a video clip and they're like, oh yeah, we don't have a budget, but you can do it for exposure. At the end of the day, you don't get any, because yeah, you dance in a video clip, but they won't give you credit.
Your name is not there, so how can anybody contact you?
Yeah, exactly. And even if, what are the chances? Think about it. What are the odds that somebody be like, oh my god, who's that girl with brown hair and blue eyes in the video clip? Let me look her up. That doesn't work like that.
Most people go for like some agencies or, right?
Yeah,
probably.
Exactly.
Like that,
So yeah, that would be also like a big advice for me to younger dancers. Like, if you really want exposure, think twice. Like, but does it really give me exposure, or is somebody just using me? Because that's also, unfortunately, a lot of times the case.
Yeah, and then when you will be like in next few years, you want to actually try to make living out of dancing, you won't be able, because there will be new dancers always working or dancing for the exposure.
Yeah.
And then you'll be in the same bad situation.
Yeah. And you also have to think for yourself, like, is it really worth it? And like, if you're a dancer, maybe like, you finished a dance school and you have some actual dancing training, you have to learn to value your work. And even if you don't have experience, you have skills, so you have to also learn to negotiate conditions for yourself. So yeah, it's like, for instance, young doctors, right? Or like, I don't know, young makeup artists. Oh yeah, makeup artists also
the artistic
example. But like bakers, they're not gonna bake bread for free. Maybe
for the exposure.
Yeah, exactly. You finished your school, you know your craft, and okay, maybe you're a little bit less experienced, but you got your bills to pay. So yeah, until you can pay your rent with exposure, or go to a supermarket and pay with exposure, don't agree on that, because it's just you being used. And it's sad, because a lot of artists, like dancers, singers, they just love to perform so much and they want to share their craft. And, seeing audience is so fulfilling and makes you so happy. Now, a lot of times, unfortunately, people forget about it, that they also should get paid, because next to it being a passion, it's also your job. Like my nail artist is also passionate about doing her nails, but she's not going to do it for free, because she also, at the back of her mind, has the fact that like she has to pay her bills.
Yeah, and also like it takes us so much money, time and sacrifices to actually become a dancer.
Yeah.
So it's already like a big investment, and I think it's just right to get paid for your job, right?
100%.
So it's just like an advice actually to maybe new young dancers that just don't agree to do it for free, because sometimes one door closes but the other will open and something better will just, you know, come your way.
Yeah, that's also so true, you know, like I know from my own experience as well that it's so tempting a lot of times when you have some nice video clips, especially when you're like a young dancer, because video clips look so flashy and you have beautiful outfits, camera, the vibe is nice. So you feel tempted to say yes for the experience and for fun, but the moment you cut those cheap things off and people that disrespect you, aka a lot of artists, and you say no to those bookings, then you have space in your agenda for something else that possibly might bring you more money.
Yeah, and also like it always hurts when, well, I mean, in video clips, for example, right? Like they would tell dancers that there's no budget, but they have budget for the videographer or for the, I don't know, flashy, fancy cars or some other things, but there's no budget for the dancers. While dancers actually like they are such a big part of the music video, for example, right? So how come there's no budget for them?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think if more people said no, then they would finally learn that, like, okay, dancers also need to be paid.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Right? And you not always have to say yes to everything. Like, you can also just value it yourself and say no. And then also brings us to another point that we talked about before, but and that's about inflation, but that's maybe not about the video clips, but just...
No, it's about the general thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
every year the prices of everything, of foods and your bills are becoming higher because of the inflation, but most of the times dancers, they get paid the same amount of money for teaching a dance class or for a video clip or for dancing in a club for like 10 years or more.
Yeah, the fees don't change, and that's also super strange because in normal jobs, like, you know, the standard jobs, you get raised every year, and okay, it's not
at
like
least the inflation.
It's
raise.
Not like insane amount of money, but you know, every year you get a little bit more. So it should be the same for artists, for dancers, and because a lot of you guys, a lot of us are independent entrepreneurs, it's in our hands to raise our prices. And again, like, of course, it feels scary to like add to your fee when other people don't do the same, because you're like, oh my god, they're gonna book somebody else. But then let them, because it's also very important that you know your own value, because if you believe in yourself and you know your value, then other people will know it as well. And yes,
some respect it.
Yeah, exactly. Some people won't book you, but then other people will, you know.
And maybe sometimes it's better to, I don't know, do something 3 times a week, but actually have a better price, right?
Yeah.
Get more money than do something, I don't know, every day. Be very tired, because it's super exhausting to be either teaching every day or performing, like, you know, energy wise. So you actually save your energy, save your time, and you get some rest. You do it for more money, less often, but actually, you know, also with people that will respect you and value you. That's also super important.
You know, I read in this book about like business and like motivational book, very nice sentence. They were talking there about business, and they said that you should cut off customers that bring you small revenue, and that sometimes, you know, it's difficult because maybe you have some sentiment with them, or I don't know, you started with them, but at some point to grow you have to change things. And they said, like, first thing that you should do is just to stop working with customers that bring you small amounts of money. Just work with people that really make you money. And I do agree with it, but the only thing is that it goes back a little bit to the exposure part and networking, that I would never do it ever anymore, unless it's for somebody I truly believe in. Because, you know, like, there are a lot of artists that have a lot of money and they just don't want to pay for dancers. But then if you really meet somebody that you know is like starting up and covers their own costs themselves, then I feel like, that's like the time where you can lower your price,
or maybe
and
it's a friend or someone, like, it's a different case. But if it's somebody that like is already out there on the market and does professional music videos, and they always pay so many thousands of euros for a music video, but they would tell only the dancers, that there is no budget, then that's just wrong.
And just like you said also, for like as a dancer, you've put so much effort in becoming a good dancer and, you know, do your training, follow dance class. So again, you should value it and you should not disrespect yourself. So if you yourself believe that you are a good dancer, you cannot compromise that for other people unless you know, because there are also girls, I mean, not to be rude, but there are girls that are not dancers necessarily. They're just pretty girls that like to be in front of camera, and that's a different story. But then yeah, I understand why you wouldn't pay for them. But like if you are a dancer and you really train hard and maybe you even did some study for dancing, don't underestimate yourself and disrespect your hard work and your craft.
Yeah, and even if you have another job, because many dancers still have to have another job because all of this doesn't really pay well, don't agree to do it for free or half the price either, because there are people that only live out of dancing, and then you again destroy the industry for these other people that try to make a living out of dancing only.
Yeah, I also have a friend who does DJing on the side. He has like a corporate job, but he also enjoys to DJ. And he also told me a story. When he started, he was playing in a nice venue, and he didn't know how much to ask. And he was like, yeah, I'm not really experienced. So he wanted to ask $100 because it wasn't in Amsterdam. And he spoke to like a bigger DJ that played at the same party. And that DJ told him like, no, don't start off from lower price. Like you practice and you are a DJ now, and experience comes with time. But that was also really good to hear and was good advice, because, you know, as a more experienced DJ, you could be like, yeah, you're not so experienced, so indeed you should ask lower price. But that guy told my friend, like, no, you have to ask high price from the beginning. So I feel like it's the same for dancers.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, start high, and then the older you get and as time passes by, ask even more. And people really will pay, because a lot of people are scared. Like, yeah, but if my price is much higher than most of the people, like I said before, a lot of people will not book you because they're like, it's too expensive. But there will be some
life too.
Yeah, but there will be people that be like, okay, that's your price. I respect you. I've seen your work on social media, or I've seen you somewhere, and I want to still book you. And like Dajana said, then you make more money with less work, which is
the ideal. The ideal situation. Yeah, exactly. But then at the same time, I just wanted to mention that it's also super important to respect the source of the dance that you are dancing, to support these people, to give credits back, because don't just take whatever you learn from the classes and just make it your own. Like, you know, just be respectful yourself and just give back the credits, or just give back to dancers, to the communities that of your dance style. But we talked about it with Sabrine in the other video, so you can watch that as well. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Don't forget.
It's really important, you know, and like that's how life goes. Like you give and you get, and if you're the person that constantly takes and doesn't give back and doesn't respect others, it will get back at you, and then at some point you won't be respected either.
Yeah, but then at the same time, don't forget that like nobody owns you at the same time, right? No. Like there are maybe some people, mentors, that will come your way and they will try to they will try to
imprison you. And like Dajana said, there's also a very important line between being respectful and giving credit to your source, to your teachers, to places, people where you came from, but you should never let them limit you, you know? So stay grateful, but don't get trapped, and don't let them manipulate you into like worshipping them, you know? That's also not the point.
Particular person right? Because that might be not even person from the source trying to just get all the credits.
Yeah, it can be a teacher, it can be an agency. Like for instance, you know, for me, I also started in Amsterdam from a particular one person, one agency. Actually, I can name her because I'm still like, I'm grateful. Like, you know, when I came to Amsterdam, I started with April Jordan Entertainment. So for dancers from Amsterdam, maybe, you know, that's a place where you can try your luck. I mean, you can like, you know, reach them out and see if you can work with them, and that's how you get into video clips. And, you know, when I came to Amsterdam, I also didn't know anybody, and I was new, and I also wanted to like try this like full-time dancer life. And she was like the owner of the agency, was the person that opened a lot of doors for me, because you know she had this network. So I started dancing through her, and then that's how, like, you know, it helped me to become more and more popular. And you know, at some point I started doing my own thing. Like, I don't do video clips anymore. I just teach dance class more, and I focus on workshops, because you know, I grew out of the video clip world. Like, it's not really for me anymore, because I'm older and I want to make more money. And like, you know, I'm still grateful for like that stepping stone that she helped me. I don't know how to say, like, I'm still grateful for, like, you know, her help. And if, you know, she needs me for something, or she needs new dances, I'll be always there for her. So there's respect and gratitude towards each other, but she never tries to like limit me or like trap me. And I would also not let that happen, because yes, you help me, but you don't own me. I'm still myself. And like, you know, I still trained to be this dancer, you know. Same with teachers. Like, maybe you trained me and you helped me to become better, but it's still my work, and you're not my mother. Like, you didn't bring me to this world, okay? So
keep that in mind as well. And like, so, like for me, for example, like dancing dancehall, right? And teaching, learning from Jamaicans, like I never felt any limitation from their side. Like they're always just so welcoming and open. And of course, like I try to respect their culture, and like if I did something wrong, then I'm like open to hear, you know, that to respect their culture. But I've lived in different countries, and basically everywhere almost it happened to me that there was somebody or a group or somebody that tried to like do this to me and just have me only for themselves. And they were trying to tell me that I can only dance with that group or with that person, and not with like another group. And that's just a red flag for dancing, basically. And it really happened to me in different countries. So it's just, I guess, a common thing in every word, not necessarily dancing only. So just be very aware that nobody owns you, and especially that these are not people from the source from of the dance style. So you know, I think like for me, I just want to dance with people, with everybody, and you cannot tell me that I can or cannot dance with somebody. That's like up to me to decide what I want to do and with who. And
maybe it's a little bit, you know, a deeper topic. And
we went from the exposure to this.
It's a like next thing to talk about, but it's important that you feel good. Like, if in your heart or in your gut you have a feeling like, I'm not feeling this person, or like this is not something what I should do, which again goes back to our topic, like because maybe money is not good, or this person communicates in a certain way,
or is trying to use you for money, or
then just cut it. Really, your energy and talent is way too precious to be abusing it and like wasting it for people that don't respect you, that don't give you freedom, and that don't pay you enough.
I recently read a quote. It said, if something costs me my peace of mind, then it's too expensive, something like that. That's really, very true.
And I don't know, I think we already said it, but I feel like it's important, not even for younger dancers, but for older people, for older dancers too, be bold enough to negotiate, because maybe some people even don't know what's the normal pay, so they just say something. But again, if your gut feeling and your
common sense,
your common sense feels like this is not enough, you can just respectfully get back to them and be like, listen, I feel like this is not enough to cover my cost of training and time of being at the venue where you want me to perform, and I would like this price. This is my price. And always try to go a little bit higher first, because then they can
negotiate.
And then if they're like, oh, that's too expensive, then you still have room to be like, okay, for you this time I'll do it for this price.
That's true. We have something else to add?
That I'm so happy. I mean, I really wish there was somebody like this that knows all those things when I was younger. Because, I mean, I'm still grateful for all the experience and for all the things I did, and I wouldn't take it back because it made me who I am. But I wish there was like a dancer that was older when I was younger, who would tell me those things and be really like straightforward, like, girl, no, don't do this because it's waste of your time. But yeah, you live and you learn. So.
But that's why we made this video. Of course, this, like, maybe I should have said it at the beginning, but that's our, like, perspective, our opinion, right? But yeah, I also, that's why I wanted to do these videos, because these are things that I wish I'd known 10 years ago, basically.
Yeah.
So hopefully it can help somebody else.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining me. And I will see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.